the Lord, everyone, and welcome to Manna Ministries Noonday Spiritual Vitamin. I thank the Lord for this opportunity and just want to give glory and honor to God, to my pastor, Bishop Dr. Jonathan Wallace Sr. for this opportunity, and our First Lady, and certainly the entirety of the ministry, and you who are tuned in with us on today. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to be reading Matthew 14, starting at verse 22 through verse 31. And the Bible reads thusly. And straightway Jesus constrained his disciples to get into a ship and to go before him unto the other side, while he sent the multitude away. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into the mountain apart to pray. And when the evening was come, he was there alone. But the ship was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with waves, for the wind was contrary. And in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went unto them walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, It is a spirit. And they cried out for fear. But straightway Jesus spake unto them, saying, Be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid. And Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water. And he said, Come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw the wind boisterous and was afraid and beginning to sink, he cried, saying, Lord, save me. Our key verse this afternoon. And immediately Jesus stretched forth his hand and caught him and said unto him, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? And I'd like to leave for a thought with you just for a few moments this afternoon. Immediate reset. An immediate reset. You see, in the book of Matthew, chapter 14, it starts off talking about how John the Baptist was beheaded. It moves further and we learn about the 5,000 that was fed. And then we have this short story about the disciples who are being challenged in their faith. Miracles happen when we are willing to step out on faith. Jesus is now sending the multitudes away and pauses to have prayer. And the disciples, he has constrained them to get into a ship and to meet him on the other side. And sometimes we have to leave the place of comfortability, the place where the assignment is complete, the place where there are no more works to be done, to enter into uncharted territory. And as the disciples were obedient and got in the ship, being experienced fishermen, I'm sure that they had no idea that this storm was going to come. But as they began to go, the storm got boisterous. The winds began to blow. I'm sure that waves began to beat up against the ship, and their ship was being tossed. Who this afternoon is not facing the challenges of life, and you feel like you're in a ship as well? Along with that, they see a spirit they think coming to them on the water, and it is Jesus. Thank the Lord, he knows our thoughts before we think them, and he begins to tell them, it is I. There's no need to be afraid. What has the enemy put before you that is causing you fear and panic this afternoon? I want you to know that you can get an immediate reset when you cast that care upon the Lord, because he cares for you. As Jesus approaches the boat and he's talking with the disciples, I just perceive that Peter is now taking in consideration that he can continue in this storm by himself with his peers, or he can go out and be in the storm with Jesus, the one he knows who is able to do exceedingly abundantly and above all that he can ask or think. And Peter asked Jesus the question. And the question this afternoon is for us as well. Peter said, if it be thou, bid me to come. Peter wanted to come down on the water. He wanted to walk on a thing that was troubling him and bringing fear to his heart. And a lot of us have not faced the challenges and the things that the enemy is using against us. But this afternoon, I encourage you to face your fear. Peter began to ask the Lord to come, and Jesus said, come. What an invitation we can get if we can get the Lord just to say, come. Peter had to do something. He had to make a decision to get out of the boat. And I'm sure that the boat people were trying to keep him in that boat, but Peter made a decision to leave the boat people behind. I want you to know that you can't get your reset if you stay in the boat. You have to step out of the boat. Number one, Peter stepped out of the boat. He had to climb up and he had to step out. Number two, Peter walked on something that was not normally encountered by anybody. He walked on the water. Peter walked on the water to Jesus. Note that he walked. Number three, he walked. Number four, Peter took his eyes off Jesus. This afternoon, what is raging in your life that has had you taking your eyes off Jesus? What distraction has the enemy sent to make you not even look in the direction that you were going in? This afternoon, I encourage you to get your focus back, because Peter knew that as long as his eyes was on Jesus, he was fine. But he took his eyes off Jesus. And number five, Peter began to sink. We are sinking and we are in desperate need of a reset. And Jesus is standing by to give us the reset that we need. But we must do our part. We must open up our mouth and we must acknowledge that we need him. This afternoon, we are the needy people. And it simply took Peter saying, Lord, save me. And when he cried out, Lord, save me, Jesus immediately gave him the reset that he needed. The Bible lets me know that not only did he walk to Jesus and get rescued in the reset, but he also walked with Jesus back to the boat. This afternoon, do something different. Don't continue to do the same thing. Climb up out of that boat and move into your uncharted territory and be and do all that God is calling you to do today. You can do it. There is an immediate reset and it's waiting just for you. God bless you. Have a blessed day.